This week I studied two different articles, and this week's study was my favorite one yet. I studied an article called Positive Family Relationships Over 30 Years, and I also studied an article that said gratitude improves parents' well-being and family functioning. And so I just want to take a second and discuss the things that I learned and the objectives of these articles. So the first one was Positive Family Relationships Over 30 Years. And the objective of this study was to study the correlation of health and happiness in adolescence through adulthood and the long-term role of positive family relationships. So the goal of this study was to take children in their adolescence and see how their lifestyle affected the way that they were, their mental and physical health 30 years later, essentially. The main points of this study were that supportive family relationships in one's youth and adolescence plays a pivotal role in their lives as an adult. And also that the foundation of a supportive family in adolescent years set the path for supportive family relationships in adulthood. And so there were several key findings of this article. Some of my favorites were that happy people experience better mental and physical health, quality of life, and greater satisfaction. That as a youth, if you are happier and are in a healthier, more positive home environment, you experience, studies show that you experience better life satisfaction 30 years later and in the next 3 decades. And on the contrary, families who struggle with conflict, aggression, unsupportive tendencies can compromise mental and physical health of those individuals throughout their lifespan, which is kind of crazy. It shows just how important it is that when we are parents, that we love and render support and care to our children, because it really does affect them years and years down the road. Families in which members get along well and support each other during the childhood and adolescent years have long-term advantages in health and happiness across over three decades of development. The next article I studied was Gratitude Improves Parent Well-Being and Family Functioning. Some of the key points of this article, and the objective of studying this article, was to test whether parents' gratitude played a role in their family, as well as study the outcomes of how and in what ways families may benefit from positive psychological practices. For example, gratitude. There were several important findings in this article, and some of them that I loved. It says gratitude has a positive effect and increases the meaning of life in all aspects, but directly correlates to those interactions happening in our everyday lives and homes. Gratitude is so important. There was a study done, and it said that writing a gratitude letter every day led to an immediate boost of feeling gratitude, uplifted, and connected to others. They did a study of just 1 week, and an individual writing a gratitude letter just one day for a week had an immediate correlation to their happiness. And gratitude interventions improves objective well-being and reduce depression, anxiety. On the contrary side, something I found interesting was over-involved parenting styles, also known as helicopter parents. That has a closely associated role with poor well-being among both parents and their children. Essentially, we see that a helicopter parent, they want to have so much control in their children's life. And so they almost take control over every aspect, and they hover. And because of that, the kid doesn't have the opportunity to make their own choices and all these stuff. They typically creates more of a tense rather than a grateful environment. And because of that, there are long-term effects to that. And so some of the correlations that I found between my two studies, first of all, what is gratitude and why does that correlate to such an important factor in our lives? Gratitude is a social emotion that is commonly felt after benefiting from another person's actions. So in the home, when we are grateful, we are benefiting from someone else's actions. We're feeling grateful for a service that maybe a parent gave us, a service that a child gave us. We're feeling grateful for a compliment or whatever it may be in our own personal lives. We're feeling grateful, and we learned in that study, and like I shared, the importance of those fundamental years in your adolescence plays a pivotal role in your mental and physical health for the next 3 decades. So gratitude has a strong correlation to how your mental and physical health will be 30 years later. And how does gratitude relate to positive family relationships? Family members that get along well and support each other render service, and we feel grateful after service. And so there's a strong correlation. These are the references to the articles I use. I would strongly recommend anyone who is looking to improve their gratitude in their home and improve happiness and be a better parent and create that life for your kids 30 years down the road. Study these articles. It was such a good study I had this week, and that's all I have.